Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to look at the essay Realism and Naturalism as an Expression of an Era, which was written by Richard Lehan. And in this essay, Lehan talks about the interpretation of the late 19th century realism and naturalism, as these two movements were considered as a worldwide literary movement, and they had deep roots in the social, intellectual, and historical movements. And during industrialization, there was a death of an agrarian society, and next came the birth of an industrial society. And this birth of an industrial society changed the society as well as the subject matter and technique of the novel. Before it was all about the agrarian society, and now as the people and the society has changed, the subject matter and the novel has also changed. And this 19th century was considered as the great era of transition, and the romantic ideals of the times were questioned. And it was at this time the realist and naturalist people were disgusted with unregulated capitalism, and this was caused due to industrialization. And these realists and naturalists had great sympathy for the poor, and they moved away from the idealized characters and plots which were followed by the romanticists, and the realist writers portrayed individuals struggling for identity in a hostile society. And an example for this is the works of Zola, who is a French writer, and his work is Nana, and also the other writer is Frank Norras. He's an English writer, and the Frank Norras shows social events more in his novels, and realism involved the literary attempt to write an objective narrative. So, one of the main features of the realism was that objective narrative. They used this objective narrative in order to depict the outside world as honestly as possible. And on the other hand, naturalism carried realism one step further, and naturalism added biological and philosophical element in the writing of fiction, and they stress the connection between nature and science. And naturalism believed in the theory of environment and heredity along with Darwinian theories of evolution. So the people who believed in naturalism, they believed in the theory of environment, heredity, as well as Darwinian theories. And realism was a bridge between romance and naturalism. And the realist depicted the middle class reality, also the life of ordinary people. But naturalism hinted that a force larger than human beings acts on the ordinary, transforming it into monstrous. And naturalism depicted new artists whose craft allowed insight into the workings of nature. And while romanticism idealized life, naturalism represented life as a harsh reality, and with the detailed observation presented the existence of external forces like heredity and environment which can influence it. And naturalism believed that life must be the subject of art everywhere. So the main motto of naturalism was life must be the subject of art everywhere. And naturalist novels served as a social corrective, forcing a re-evaluation of cultural truths such as love, bravery, religions, faith, etc. And naturalists portrayed the world of the poor, the outcast. These poor people were considered as the outcast, as forbidden subjects, and they felt that presentation of such themes could make their works more realist. And their main theme was the working class and disorder. Naturalists believed that this degradation was the eventual lot of all human life. So, naturalism was pessimistic in nature, while romanticism was optimistic in nature. Naturalism, on the other hand, was pessimistic in nature. and the theory of degeneration, which emphasized cultural decline, and the idea of racial identity associated with Darwin's theory of evolution also interested the naturalist. So, the theory of degeneration, as well as the Darwin's theory of evolution, was the main source of interest for the people who believed in naturalism, and race became an important issue as it justified imperialist policies of colonization and class system. A new political vision during this time, provided by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, was closer to the ideas of naturalism. And Marxism and literary naturalism are similar as both believed in evolution. Marxism and naturalism are similar in ideologies because both believed in evolution. And many of the naturalists saw communism as an alternative to abuses of capitalism. And an example are the novels of Jack London, Sinclair, etc. And this transition to urban economy led to the rise of middle class and republican forms of government, and in the 19th century marked the rise of industrialists. They are also known as new capitalists. They were the new heroes depicted in the naturalist novels of Fraser, Fitzgerald, etc. in America, which saw the birth of realism or naturalism in America. And like the effect of French Revolution in European society, American Civil War caused a change from romantic view of relief in the American. So just like the French Revolution, how French Revolution created an impact in the European society. On the other hand, in America, American Civil War caused a similar impact, and this changed a romantic view of life into realistic view of life. And scientific inventions and technology of the 19th century raised the standard of living, and the changed physical world led to the rise of a consumerist culture. And pragmatism was an offshoot of naturalism in America. Pragmatism means the element of truth, and this was considered as a product of naturalism. So it was due to the naturalism in America that pragmatism derived, and both movements helped to extend religious and political freedom and create a more secular society. And pragmatists, that is, the people who believed in the element of truth, emphasized on the concrete as a source of truth, and it discounted the past and emphasized the present. So pragmatism mainly discounted the past, so that is, they neglected the past and they emphasized on the present. And just like naturalism, pragmatism mediated between philosophy and science, theory and practice. So pragmatism is closely linked to naturalism in the ground of adapting to the environment. And in America, naturalism was not welcomed with enthusiasm. So not like in Britain. In Britain, naturalism was welcomed, but in America, it was not like that. It was not welcomed with enthusiasm. Many people were against naturalism, and most writers of the period added elements of philosophy, neorealism, and cosmic symbolism to it. And naturalism in America was similar to neorealism as seen in the novels of Hemingway and Fitzgerald, and it modified the transcendental literature in America. And according to Richard Lehan, realism and naturalism depicted a conflicted reality, and the naturalist novels depicted characters whose human potential was subject to physical limits. So, naturalism as a philosophy of life presented the 19th century struggle between ideal and natural, religion and science, order and chaos, democracy and totalitarianism. And naturalism was good at revealing a divided state of mind in the age of transition. It was also better at depicting the displaced population than in offering social solutions. So that's all. I hope you understood the summary of the essay. See you soon in the next video. Bye.